Is Country Wayne showing a representation of what Dr. Cheyenne Brown has been talking about on these shows? Let's get into this.
I get it though. I mean, I would have fought too. That's a crazy situation to find out your best friend is
I mean,
dealing
the
with your
audacity. The audacity that she has to sleep with my husband and then press charges. Like, I should go whoop her tail myself.
No,
I'd do it.
I get it.
Can I do it?
The fact that I literally saw them sitting in church, like you, Anthony, Shayla, all together, and to find out that they was messing around is insane to me.
See, but the thing about it, it really ain't about Shayla. It's really about Anthony. Though.
No, you.
All right, so let's stop it right there. So when there is a relationship, right, and there is infidelity, let's say there's a marriage and there's infidelity, who is it really about? That's the first question we're going to ask. Some people say no, it's about the side chick. Some people say no, it's about the the husband or the wife. And some people say no, it's about both of them. I always believe it's about both of them. Of course, sure. Do you want to make sure that you're checking your wife, if it was for me, or is it like or your husband in whatever it is regard? You want to do that, of course, but it's generally about both parties. So I've seen it in that regard. Now, when I watch this, what I'm seeing is pretty much the actual character in this is giving me the same thing, as in where the character is more focused on the outside personnel, which is in this case what used to be her best friend, which is Shayla. That's who she's focusing on, versus even focusing on the mere fact that her husband was an accomplice and a great accomplice in what has been taking place and what has transpired.
Right though.
Like that's one thing I understand that you have to take your anger out. Like I'm familiar with that.
Like,
man.
honestly, I should give her a real reason to press charges.
Man, like, it ain't about.
That's what I should do.
Listen,
I should give her a real reason.
To be honest with you, I'm ready to give Anthony a reason
Where
to press charges.
Where he at? Where he at?
Because he ain't gonna keep playing with my family.
Wait.
Have you talked to Ant? What's up with Ant?
No, okay, look, no, sorry.
Amber, I've given him
No,
chances
I don't
after
want y'all
chance.
to
Man,
get
that's your
involved with
husband,
this. I don't want y'all to, no.
Okay, so have you seen the look on her face? She's saying, hey, no, I don't want you guys getting involved. She's quite upset when it comes to the woman. She's very upset, and rightfully so. Hey, the woman cheated with her husband. That's what has taken place, and she's quite upset, which is exactly what is supposed to happen. But I noticed that there is still a bit of a soft spot. Maybe it's because she is actually very much in love with that particular man, and so she cannot believe at all. And I spoke about this in some other video on the channel, and I said sometimes it is that we are not. It's almost like we cannot lose divorcing someone else. There's a certain level of status that divorce brings. There's a level of status symbol that divorce brings, and if you don't make it in a marriage, then it's almost like you've actually been a failure. There's a level of shame that is with it. That's my take on it. That there is a level of shame, and because of that particular shame, it makes one tend to want to stay within a marriage as long as possible. No, while I think you should be staying in it, and while I do understand the vows that you take and all of that, the question is under what circumstances? Well, let's look at the Dr. Cheyenne Brown's video, and let's check this out. Let's go.
So I was there and met a couple guys, went on some dates. And I do have guys that I go on dates with.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to them, because they're all amazing men. But there hasn't been anyone that I've been on dates with that I want to just continue to date for the rest of my life.
All right, so let me just make sure I ask a question. When she says she goes on dates, like, is it that you're going on continuous dates with these guys? Are you leading these guys on? Or is she stopping them? I'm not sure the context. She didn't really mention in there. But I always ask those questions because I don't like when girls are perpetually going on dates, as the guys would say, no, get a meal from guys. I don't like that. But anyway.
And so I've been saying for the past, since I turned 42 in September, I'm like, I'm in my choosing stage. I'm going to choose.
Yes.
But I ain't got no one come that I want to choose. And it's not to say they're not amazing and they're not really good men. I tell my clients this all the time, even the ones who are already married. I said, did you choose marriage or did you choose him or her?
All right. So this is where I was setting up now with the Amber argument. So Dr. Cheyenne Brown's thing here is either you choose marriage or you choose the actual person, which is a good argument. I like the argument in itself, and I like where it's going. It's very interesting. I'm still questioning the actual question. Like, okay, all right, let me think about the question. I'm thinking about the question: do you choose marriage or do you choose the person? Can I say you choose a bit of both? Can I say actually do that? But you know what I mean? It makes sense. You want to choose the person because, of course, hey, if the person becomes unattractive, then chances are you're going to leave or you're going to cheat. So that makes sense.
And so when you choose a person, that's when marriage lasts. Because if I'm choosing you, I'm plugged into you. And that means that I literally can't go outside of you and find another you. But if I choose marriage, I can take that title and put that on anybody, right?
True.
So that's how marriage is able to dissipate so quick and the divorce rate is so high. Because it's like, look, I was choosing marriage to begin with. I never chose you anyway. So I can just go choose me another pretty thing like you, put marriage on her and be in a marriage, but not in a relationship.
All right, so hold on. There's a lot to digest. Okay, so she's saying that the whole idea of marriage and the person are kind of two different things. I'm begging to differ on this, and I'm not just differing for differing's sake. I feel like marriage has a certain thing to it where it's as if we've been taught to hold marriage very sacred and very holy. And so we said to ourselves, you know what? I can just be in a relationship. Like, if you ask any guy or any dude, I can just be in a relationship with a woman. It's fine. We can just, shack up, do our little thing. We're living here for years. And people used to do this, by the way, and they still do it now. Right? Where they're in those common law relationships. And I can be there and don't get married. And I feel like when people go to get married, and I'm not talking about those unscrupulous marriages that happens, because you do have them, where people go into marriages and they go in there because they're trying to get something from out of it. It's like it's a monetary transaction. I'm talking about people who are actually going into marriage. They're looking at that marriage as something that they're saying, okay, you know what, this is a big step for me. It's more like it's a contract. I want to sign this contract with you. Rather than just, giving me my word and you trusting my word, I want to make this woman that one woman that's for me, and that's my wife. So I feel like that's where I'm kind of leaning. But it could be that we've just been taught to, via Christian values, to respect. It could be that. It could just be that.
And so when I'm out with men, I'm like, two things. Would I want my son to be like you? If it's a no, then it's a no.
Yeah.
I like that, because now I asked the question, would I want my daughter to be like you? I like that. And that goes both ways.
Can I really choose you? Like when things get hard, am I willing to just forgive you about everything? Because I'm not leaving my husband. And that's why I don't think women or men who stay through anything except abuse, of course, are done. God forbid you end up stepping out on me or doing things that dishonor me because you're human, not because you're a bad man. Will I want to work that out with you? Because you're just my person.
Yeah.
When that presents itself, I'm locking in.
Yeah.
I'm having babies. And I don't condone the cheating, but I'm not leaving my husband. I'll leave a man. I'm not leaving my husband.
All right. So this is where I said that the storyline was similar, if you can notice. And that's, I think, what's happening now with the actual character in this Kountry Wayne series, where she you can tell that she's not interested in leaving her husband. You can tell that. And of course, hey, rightfully so, I believe marriages should work, and you should work on a marriage. My only question is, how do you work on a marriage? That's always the question, is how do you work on a marriage, and is the next person committed to working on that marriage with you? I feel like that comes with pieces in it. I feel like that comes with pieces in it, because I've been in relationships before where I think I probably stepped out. And in stepping out, I wasn't ready to do anything different. And what happened was that what happened was, after doing it this one time, then you get forgiveness, you do it another time, and then you get forgiveness and you do it another time. And it is until you actually learn the lesson where the woman says, you know what, hey, I can't bother with it, that you probably think about a little bit more with the next woman that you have. Because sometimes we don't learn until we learn. So that's just my drawback on what she's saying and she's mentioning here. And again, I'm not saying people should be breaking marriages up, but what about it this way? My question is, does the person want to be in the marriage? Because now I'm not sure that if this is the thing. I am not sure that if I'm actually in a marriage and my wife has stepped out on me, that I'm quick to say I want to work it out. I'm not sure. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to say no. Because once my wife has been touched, I'm going to always have that etched in my mind. I don't know if it's a guy thing. It could be one of a guy thing. Once my wife has been touched, once I know that she's actually been in bed with someone else during that marriage, I can never forget that. I can never forget that. I'm going to always remember, I'm going to always think up in the back of my mind, what if she meets another guy and decides that she wants to do the same thing again. That's just all I'm saying. That's just all I'm saying. Which is why I have to play the game very fairly for women. I have to play the game very fairly. Hey, I got sisters like everybody else, and so I look into it and I'm like, you know what? It's interesting. It's interesting. How do you go about it? That's a good question. Good question. But I like her notion on it. I like her how she's, being solid. Of course, I'm not the biggest Dr. Cheyenne Brown's fan. And I'm not, because I feel like sometimes, and this is just my critique of it, I feel like sometimes she uses education to beat the populace down. And I don't like seeing actual celebrities or people who, come onto different platforms using those things to beat, people down. I don't like seeing it. It's just something about that I don't like seeing at all. If you're going to uplift, you uplift, but you don't need to use your schooling to beat anyone down. That's just my caveat on it. But here in this particular point, hey, she's pretty solid. I can't I cannot beat her up at all. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think. I want to hear your viewpoint on this, because that's what this channel is. It's about a conversation. My question is, would you actually stay after you've been cheated on? That's my question. Or have you stayed after being cheated on? What happens then? That's my question, because I'm not sure. I could be off. Let me know what you guys think. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm going to talk to y'all soon.